Hey traders, TG Watkins here. Today we're going to be talking about swing trading versus day trading and which one might be best for you. And we're going to be talking about which one actually made me more money in 2025 with some examples, so I think you guys will enjoy it. So let's kind of dive into this and start answering some of these questions to help figure out which one might be right for you. So in my experience, and I think anybody else who has tried to become a professional trader or really just gotten into trading, I think the real reason that most traders fail is that they don't know which style. They don't know what they want to be. Some of it's called style creep. Oh, I'm trying to be this kind of trader. Or I'm trying to do this, or I'm trying to day trade and swing trade it and invest all at the same time. Oh, I'm going to trade options. Or I'm going to be a spread trader. Oh, I'm going to do all these things. And there's just too much at any given time that somebody's trying to learn, especially when the market is just so overwhelming and confusing to begin with. So I think really what it is that you're trying to find the right style for you. And right now, today, we're just going to be talking about swing trading versus day trading as far as that style. Okay. So in this video, I'm going to be asking you 3 simple questions, or proposing 3 questions for you that I think will help reveal what kind of trader you are. And so by the end of this, you'll know exactly which strategy kind of matches your goals, your schedule, and your capital. Okay. First question is, how much time can you devote to actively trading? I think this kind of is an obvious one, but if you are going to be a day trader, you need to figure out, okay, can you just commit the mornings or the afternoons or sometime in between? And do you feel comfortable that, okay, I'm looking for a trade in that window of time? And what if there is or is not a trade within that period of time? Okay, so you need to kind of figure that out and decide, well, what can I commit? For me, I know that if I have something coming up later in the day and I have a window time, like I can only trade for 2 hours, I'm a little nervous actually to put on a day trade, because what if I put on a day trade 30 minutes before I have to go and the thing just doesn't go, and now I have to get out of the trade because I have to leave? I actually prefer having ample time to be able to do something, because sometimes I put a trade on and it might actually last for a few hours, or maybe it doesn't do anything and it takes a while for it to finally tell me if I'm wrong or something. So that's where if I have a limitation, I know that maybe I don't do a day trade today. And that's where, for me, I find that swing trading actually can be a little bit better, because I can move around, I can be gone for the day, I can have my stops on it. For me, as a swing trader, I'm an end of day trader. And so really, to just look at my positions, I just need to come in and look probably the last hour of the day and make a decision, whether it is to sell something or buy something, or if I'm looking at something that I want to get into, whatever it is. And so for you, you need to figure out, are you going to be a full-time trader? Are you going to be a part-time trader? And if you're going to be taking at this, can you only have nights and weekends? Because, like, okay, you get home from the office and then you need to look. That's more of a swing trading style. Or do you only have weekends? Maybe that's more of an investing style. So I think your time commitment has a lot to do with the style of trading that you're going to be able to participate in. All right, and then market conditions. This kind of goes along with the whole swing trade versus day trading thing, because for me, I know that I find day trading easier and more lucrative, of course, when there is more volatility. So I need price to move. If the market is doing great, so for example, which means I probably won't be doing swing trading as much when the market is volatile. Okay, so if the market's volatile, the market's probably not great. There's probably not a trend, and things are kind of messy. And so there may not be a lot of swing trading positions to put on or do or anything else like that. So great day trading, but not great swing trading. You flip that around, and I find that swing trading is easier when the markets are strong. And oftentimes that can mean the market or the index can be kind of quiet. And in fact, we've just seen this over the last week or two, that the market just keeps kind of grinding higher. And there might be the occasional pop or drop or something like that, but really just kind of grinds higher. And I find that as far as day trading, there aren't always a lot of opportunities when the market's kind of quiet like that. Of course, you can put on some put credit spreads or something like that. Not a lot of premium, because, the VIX is low, and so there's just not a lot of premium in those options. Or you could just trade equity and go long on these things, but maybe the intraday moves are not that much. And so that's kind of what I find is when I day trade the indices, it's usually when there's some volatility all of a sudden, and I probably am not really doing much swing trading. And so that's how they kind of balance out each other. Okay, and then to show you this, here are some recent examples. So the one on the right, This was 1,400% account gain. But really the point, and I've shown this before, is that I made 2,060% gains on a swing trade. This was at the tariff tantrum lows, if you guys remember that back in April. I put $38,000 on some SOXL calls, and they were 30 days out. And it worked out amazingly, very, very well. And yeah, 2,000%. That took my $38,000 to $683,000. There you go. There's a swing trade. Okay, so that was very lucrative for me. And you can see here that also this is a swing trading account. I do not do any day trades in this account. And of course, we've had a good market, but you can see this was just 2 or 3 days ago. And I had a $100,000 day in this, and I've been growing the account from, I think it was back down to 100 something thousand, and now this is over 700,000. And this is just one of the accounts that I trade. You know, I've got multiple that are doing something like this. And so swing trading can be very lucrative. I like it. And for the most part, I don't have to do too much because in fact, this little move here, all my positions were already set. I'm just riding the waves of the market, and my tickers happen to take off very, very well over the last few weeks. And I'm just kind of sitting on them. You know, we're taking profits here and there, but for the most part, I'm letting the market do the work. And so that's part of why I really like swing trading too. So if you want to see exactly how this happens and how I do this, come over to simplertrading.com/Moxie. You guys can join the trading room. I'm on the mic all the time, at least an hour a day. We're doing a fun thing called the Moxie Mutual Fund right now. It's a fun little project. But other than that, I teach all day long, and I show you guys exactly what I'm doing, how to do this. And if you have questions about your own kind of stocks, I talk about that too. So lots of education if you guys come into the trading room. Okay, so there's swing trading. Now, the second question, how much capital do you have? You can do day trading or swing trading with either kind of capital. You know, if you have small capital, big capital, whatever, you can do both. But you do have to kind of ask yourself, if you're going to be day trading and you have a large account, are you going to be throwing $80,000 or more or something like that at a position? Okay, now I've got an example for this too. Are you going to be day trading 0DT options? Or are you going to be trading leverage ETFs? You know, if you do have a large account and you want to day trade, how are you going to funnel all of that money into a trading vehicle? And options, 0DT, levered ETFs, stocks, like what are you going to do? And you have to kind of figure that out, and you have to find vehicles that will actually take that amount of money if you're going to be doing that. Perhaps if you're going to be doing a smaller amount of capital, then options might be a little bit better and more what you're looking for. But just remember, they're very volatile, okay? And especially the 0DT, they can go zero. They can go to zero, or if they're wrong, they can go against you pretty well. So think about that. And if you're day trading, what kind of vehicle are you going to use in order to put all that money into the market? Same thing with if you're going to be swing trading and you have a lot of capital, well, then you're probably going to be in some FANG stocks and some other things and ETFs that can, again, kind of handle the kind of money that you have. PDT rule, this is the pattern day trader. There is talk that the Trump administration might actually be removing this rule. And so that means you do not have to worry about having $25,000 or more in order to day trade. This is still up in the air. It's kind of a rumor. It's being talked about. Just want to kind of mention that maybe not, that's an issue. And right now you can actually, there's a little bit of a way around this. You can actually day trade with a account that is under $25,000 as long as it's a cash account, not a margin account, a cash account. So that's one little thing that not too many people talk about. Okay, so for example, here is day trading stuff. Now, October 7th, just the other day, I put on a trade to short the SOXL. So this is a leverage ETF, and I was shorting the long leveraged ETF. You can see the actual trade right here. Now, the trade itself was worth about 7% that day. And for me, I have a day trading account that I have a lot of margin with, and I picked a number and I happened to put $420,000 on this to the short side. Now, for the day, that produced about $26,000 in profit, and I cashed in half, which you can see here. Now, the next day, yeah, it bounced. I got out, but I was able to take profits on this thing, and I just want to show you that there are vehicles that if you have a large amount of money, or if you have margin, or some other way to get leverage, you can do this, and I am doing this. I mean, $420,000 is not chump change to put on something for a day trade, but also, a little bit of percentage makes a lot of dollars if you have big dollars to begin with. So that's why I wanted to show you guys both swing trading and day trading can be lucrative. Just depends on what you're doing and how good you are. But yeah, $26,000 in a day on one of these things, and even the half that I cashed in, 13,000, not too shabby. Okay, so we got that. And then third question, what is your risk tolerance? Sounds like anytime you go to the bank or some financial advisor, they ask you kind of like, what's your risk tolerance? And there are a couple things to this. Of course, you need to think if you're trading options, any option can go to zero. And it just depends on how much time you have on that option. So if you're trading a leap, the price of the underlying can go down by quite a bit and maybe you only lose 50, 60%. That's still a lot, but it didn't go to zero. And the closer and closer you get to shorter time, 0 DT or 1 week or 30 days, the less price moves against you, the more this thing will actually go to zero, the faster it'll go to zero. And if the move doesn't even happen, things can still go to zero. And so what's your risk tolerance? And if you are going to trade options, your risk tolerance pretty much depends on like how far out of the money are you going to go and what is the duration. So think about that. Now, you could maybe mitigate some of your risk by trading stocks. Now, again, nothing's ever perfect in this world. Most stocks won't go to zero. Of course, if you're trading a really bad, crappy stock that isn't very listed or it's a penny stock, of course, it can go to zero and you can lose your money. But if you're trading something like Tesla or Apple or Netflix or whatever, most likely they're not going to go to zero. So you can get relatively assured that if you put a large amount of money in there or you're trading that, it's not going to go to zero and you don't have to worry about losing all of your money. But you could still lose a lot, and that's where if you have a trade that isn't working, you should have enough time to make a decision before it actually goes to zero and you have to make that choice. Okay, so just make sure you pay attention to that. You can still lose money and all this kind of stuff. And just again, make sure that you are trading a legitimate stock if you're going to be putting a lot of stuff on there. If you're trading something that's kind of a fly-by-night and maybe doesn't have a lot of data to it, you could certainly lose your money. I have definitely done that when I was learning. I was picking bad stocks that were kind of bottom feeders, and next thing I know, they just crunched because they filed bankruptcy. It's definitely happened to me. I've certainly been there. And then as far as a day trade or swing trade, you got to think about, okay, so risk tolerance. Are you willing to watch a position every minute while you have it on? Day trading. Do you have kids at the house? Do you have a sick dog? Do you have things that you need to do and stuff that if you put on a trade and you walk away, can you do that? Can you set stops? Are you comfortable with that? Have you set your targets? There are ways to work around that, but just make sure if you're going to be doing day trading, you can plan for either watching it or setting parameters. And some people really enjoy that. Some people enjoy the immediate feedback. I mean, I'm sure some people, it probably makes them a nervous wreck to put money on a stock and then have to hang on to it for a month and all the ups and downs and twists and turns and all the news and political events and all that kind of stuff that happened while you're trying to hang on to this. So it just comes down to a personal preference. Would you rather be in and out of the market, or can you actually hang on to some of these things? And honestly, I do both. Which you can see here. I'm successful at trading both styles because I've been doing this for long enough to be able to switch between the two and also do this two at the same time. I'm just familiar with this. And if this is something you guys want to do, you just need to learn it. You just need to spend enough time in the market with the market and you will start picking this stuff up. It's like riding a bike. Eventually you're going to get it and then you'll be really good at it. Okay. So just more time in the market to where you can experience this. So let me help you find your path on any of these methods that work for you and for me and how I've discovered something for them and these little tips and tricks that can help you with your journey for trading. So, for day trading, we kind of look at it, intense focus, maybe limited freedom because, you can't go anywhere when you have your day trade on, except if you set your targets or your stop losses. Swing trading, yeah, I can set stops and whatever, and I can check in once a day, which I've done a lot. You go skiing or something. I just need to make sure I kind of check the market an hour before it closes and see what's going on. Quick decision maker, yeah, maybe you like to be day trading. If you're more of an analytical thinker, maybe you like swing trading because you can kind of read the reports and see if this thing's going to go up and what the theme of the ticker is and what the stock is, and read all the press releases that come out, that kind of stuff. Okay, so I hope you guys enjoy that. Remember, if you have any questions, come over to simplertrading.com/Moxie. I do a lot of stuff inside of the Moxie room. I'm on the mic at least 1 hour every day. And we have a lot of people in there having a good time talking about things, and just feel free to come in there and ask some questions. We do both day trading and swing trading, options on both day trading and swing trading. We do it all. So wherever you kind of want to get your feet wet and learn some experiences, come into the Moxie room. We'll help you there. And yeah, hope to see you guys there. So see you next time. Thanks.